Hello, I'm Michael Fennelly and welcome to Round the Square.
On this week's Round the Square, we check in on Sam's new home in Donegal, where next for the Liam McCarthy, a look ahead to the Galway-Kilkenny replay.
Obviously we're disappointed with not sealing out the game after being 5 points up at half time.
I am certain that unless we do perform very, very well, we won't win it.
And super scores from this week's championship action. A crowd of over 82,000 descended on Croke Park for the unique All-Ireland Senior Football final pairing of Mayo and Donegal.
Up Donegal all the way.
It was to prove a day of glory for Jim McGuinness's Ulster champions and a memorable afternoon for the legions who travelled from Donegal.
It's the day of destiny for the players of Donegal and Mayo. It's the day when you want to play your best game ever. The noise is deafening. Great sense of expectation among the fans, controlled here by Carol Lacey. 45 metres out from the target. Beautifully in there to Murphy. Great shot, great goal! 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock when he got that. Donegal advance, dangerous situation, and it's Paddy McBrearty, comes back down again, back to McFadden. It's another one, and it's Colin McFadden this time. It's sheer agony for Mayo and their followers. No county deserves to lose like they have lost, but it happens, that's sport, and we all know about that. They ran into a very, very tough Donegal team as Michael Murphy went down injured. It's all over, and Donegal are the All-Ireland champions. They'll leap for joy. 1992 has been bridged. 2012, Michael Murphy from Glenswilly, only 23 years of age, takes the Sam Maguire Cup from Liam O'Neill. Donegal are champions.
Goals win games, and Mayo would probably be kicking themselves tonight that they conceded the two very earlier on, but you know we took them, and listen, Mayo, in fairness, they came back at us with all guns blazing, and we came out the second half. We got a few early points to kind of settle the nerves a wee bit again, and we just held on to the end.
Half time we knew we had a 3-point lead, and we knew a few scores in the third quarter would probably open up the game, and we could defend our lead for the last 5-10 minutes, you know, and that's kind of the way it panned out, so we're happy that way, but Mayo did ask some serious questions towards the end.
There were several pit stops on the road from Dublin to Donegal as the Tyrconnell men returned from only their second ever All-Ireland Senior Football final win. It was late into the night before the anxious throng got a glimpse of the coveted trophy. The inclement conditions didn't bother the thousands who gathered in Donegal town's diamond. The celebrations were led by another local hero.
Yes, my heart will lead me back home to my Donegal.
And it's brilliant for the whole lot of us to come in here as players and to look down here on the stage and look down at everybody in Donegal. I just want to thank everybody who done their bit to put this together. Thank you very much.
Welcome here to the diamond. The man that really has made all this happen, the one and only Jim McGuinness!
All you want is people who will work with you, who have a hunger, who have a desire, who want to achieve, who want to push themselves forward, push their own boundaries,
And every single one of these fellas here, to a man, every single one of them, every single night that they arrive at training, they have that mindset, they have an attitude of trying to get the best out of themselves. And that's the reason that that cup is sitting there tonight. No other reason.
Having salvaged a last-gasp draw against Kilkenny in the original instalment of the 2012 Senior Hurling Final, Galway are still in the hunt for a first All-Ireland trophy in 24 years. And the people of one corner of Ballinasloe aren't afraid to show their colours.
Steeped in history, steeped in GA Ballinasloe, always was and always will. It's a tradition we have up here in St Brendan's, like. We're all Ballinasloe, like. We all support Galway, through and through. Always did and always will. We don't mind what we spend. We don't mind. Win, lose or draw, we'll still put them out. 6'2", eyes of blue. Big Joe Cannon is coming for you. Yep!
The trophy hasn't got a home yet, so supporters are still anxious to see how things are going to go. We're still a big game to play, still playing one of the greatest teams of all time, so there's a lot of nervousness but a lot of excitement too in the county.
11 of our team that played the last day hadn't played in an All-Ireland before, and the theory goes that, you know, you learn your lessons, you use that experience and you go on and you win the next day, but life doesn't work like that, and you have to put the theory into practice, and it's all about learning from the experience rather than acknowledging you had the experience, but you must learn from that experience. And we made a lot of mistakes the last day, particularly in the second half, and we've been working very hard in training to put that right.
It was very, very intense. I suppose it probably wasn't as high scoring as maybe the last 2 or 3 finals, but for intensity and excitement, and for ebbing and flowing, and Kilkenny had a dominant periods and we had a dominant periods, and either side could have won it there in the finish.
Obviously we're disappointed with not sealing out the game after being 5 points up at half time, but I suppose when you look from the outside in, you're playing the greatest team of all time, and they're not going to let a 5-point lead really dictate matters.
We probably had a couple of shots at goal in the second half that if we had them again we probably would have taken a bit more time on the ball and steadied up and scored, and probably would have steadied the ship first, and we gave away a lot of frees, probably too many frees up front and at the back, and kept Kilkenny in the game at a time when they were struggling to get scores, and probably those 2 key areas really are the ones we've been working on in training this week.
We'd hope that we've learned enough now to get us ahead of Kilkenny and stay ahead of Kilkenny. There were times the last day when we probably should have kicked on and gone further in front, but we have to learn as well that Kilkenny will have dominant periods, and when they do, they can punish you and punish you severely, and they come back into the match extremely fast, and led by Henry Shefflin there, centre forward, was tremendous, the leadership he showed there, and we've got to contain that the next day and be stronger even in defence, and take it from there.
We haven't won Ireland title in 24 years, haven't seen it in my lifetime, so I have the same motivation now as I had in weeks previous, which is mainly trying to secure Celtic Cross for Galway. So there's people in Galway who were starving of success, and no more so than myself and my own family, so all you can do is really try produce a performance that is good enough to secure success and hopefully bring pride to supporters.
Preparing for an All-Ireland final in Kilkenny is almost an annual event. But supporters, management and players in the Marble City are raring for another cut at this year's decider.
I suppose it's a slightly strange feeling after the game for a couple of days afterwards, because you know you're expecting everything to be done and dusted, and you're expecting either to be in terrific form or to be absolutely savagely disappointed. But you're neither really, to an extent, and certainly not massively delighted anyway. But absolutely no hardship whatsoever in preparing for an All-Ireland final. I mean, we're in the very same place as we were a few weeks ago. The All-Ireland final is coming up, and I'd settle for that any time.
Disappointment crept in a small bit, maybe a bit of relief crept in as well, and just the fact that we're getting another shot at. You know, I was very happy. Like, you know, at least we get another 70 minutes to have another crack at. I don't think we played as well as we can play, and that's probably due to maybe how strong Galway were. You know, it was tit for tat near the end there, and it could have went either way, to be fair. Like, you know, in Galway, if Galway to win the game in the end, they probably would have been deserving winners, and if we to win it, we would have been deserving winners too, maybe. So it just went down to the last wire. But as I said, I was kind of nearly happy in one sense that the game was stopped and it was level, and you know, we get another 70 minutes at it.
And they got a serious start last day, but thanks be to God we came back into it strongly, and you know, we were competitive right up to the end. But I mean, the ability of Galway is very, very obvious, and it's there for us. That's the challenge in front of us.
Henry can win games for you, like, you know, and that nearly showed the last day. He just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, and he was like a young lad out there, like, playing, and he was driving everyone on, like, you know, to be fair to him, and he lifted myself at times there and other players to keep going, and it just, you know, it's his experience that he has there, but to actually go out and do it again in another All-Ireland final that he's been in, it's really is a credit to him. And you know, I think he's going for maybe a historic, you know, is it 9 All-Irelands or something like that, so a lot of pressure on him too, like, you know, for that record. But I don't think that's in his mind. I think literally it's bringing home the Liam McCarthy Cup is in his mind.
I would always have a confidence in our players to go out and perform very, very well, you know, but I mean, I am certain that unless we do perform very, very well, we won't win it. But that's the plan, is to go ahead and do that.
It's going to be one hell of a tough game, and it'll be I think our 5th time meeting this year now, so it should be another close one, I suspect, and whoever's most hungry on the day will win it.
The GAA Senior Hurling Championship All-Ireland final replay between Kilkenny and Galway throws in at 3:30 this Sunday in Croke Park. It's preceded at headquarters by the Electric Ireland GAA Minor Hurling Championship All-Ireland final replay between Dublin and Tipperary, which begins at 1:15.
Controlled here by Carol Lacey. 45 metres out from the target. Beautifully in there to Murphy. Great shot, great goal! Good work here by Michael Conroy. He's working across that line from right to left, and he's keeping Neil McGee on his toes, and he's getting in timely shots like that, and he's put it over the bar. It's back once again with McGlynn, 45 metres from the target. McGlynn once more. Vaughan trying to get in a tackle, but he doesn't succeed, and that one is beautifully over the bar.
The winner of last week's competition was Terry Ward from County Mayo. This week's question for a €100 voucher from Elverys Sports: who won the 2012 Leinster GAA Senior Hurling Final? Email the answer with your name, postal address and phone number to roundthesquare@gaa.ie.